Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Monday Live. I'm Dina Rico, and I'm so excited to have you here. I just need to get myself some Stampin' Lips. I think we'll go with the bright pink. Also, I'm super excited because I'm going on a little staycation next week. So that will be so awesome. This is bright lipstick. I gotta stay inside the lines. There we go. I'm going on a little staycation next week because my husband used up all of his vacation going to Carl's various things this spring, and I guess our trip to Mexico. But I usually take time off right around the 4th of July, and so I'm going to do it next week, and I'm very excited because I'm going to get highlights in my hair, which is something I've wanted to do since April and have not been able to do because of scheduling. And part of the reason is because I go back to my gal in Waterloo where we used to live, because I really like how she does my hair and she's so good at it. And so I'm looking at how dark this is and how gray this is, and I am really looking forward to it being blonde like this. Oh, I'm just so excited about it. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to arrange a little gathering with my friends from the area for lunch and or dinner or something. I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, I'm very, very excited about that. And I am looking forward to having just some downtime. And I cleaned my pantry this weekend, so I won't have to do that on my staycation. I think I might, I don't know, we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to end up doing. But I think maybe I will spend some time outside reading a book and maybe knitting, because I haven't been doing much of that because my dog eats everything, especially dead stuff. So we'll see. So I have to tell you a story. I'm just going to warn you, it's a little bit gross. And I want you to know this because I don't want you to be grossed out by it. But Milo, such a doofus, this dog. He has taken to eating things, you know, like dead birds, bunny poo, you know, whatever is around. Now, granted, we feed him plenty. And yeah, so he threw up in my bedroom at like 5 a.m. on Friday morning. And when I went to clean it up later, because I kind of like, you know, I kind of like dreamt that he threw up, but I didn't know if it was real or not, so I just kept on sleeping. You know how that goes. If you own a dog or a cat, you might understand. But anyway, so when I went to go clean it up later, you know, after I woke up, there was a little worm in it. Okay. However, as a person with a degree in biology who really enjoyed her parasitology class, she found that fascinating. So I called the vet, so also picked it up with toilet paper, put it in a Ziploc bag and Ziplocked it, and then called the vet, and they assumed that it was a tapeworm, and I said, no, I don't think so. I was right, by the way. Anyway, we go in and the vet looks at it under a microscope and just gives us dewormer, which I hope that will take care of it. But so then we were on or what? And he said it was probably from either the dead bird or the bunny poo. And then we were on a walk either Saturday or Sunday morning. I think Sunday morning. And he pooped, you know, and as I'm picking the poop up on our walk, as that is my job, there was another worm. Now, I have dissected a lot of gross things in my day, but they were all dead. So I don't think the worm was, well, I don't know if the worm was alive in the poo. I'm not sure. It was alive in the barf, though. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And I have to tell you though, this is so funny. So Carl, who by the way wants to make, he's pre-med, so he like enjoys biology and everything. But he wanted to come to the vet to find out what was going on. You know, obviously it is equal parts fascinating and just so gross. And yes, we did treat our other dog. Anyway, so we get to the vet and my vet he's a stinker. So he goes, well, obviously that came from you guys. And I immediately knew he was joking, but Carl, the look on his face was like, oh. And so I'm like, shut up. And so he thought he was really funny. Obviously it was not from us, but my son was horrified for that brief moment before he knew it wasn't, he was joking. So that was kind of funny. I have to admit, that made me giggle. So then our daughter came over for Father's Day. We had a little barbecue, and we were telling this story, and she did the same thing. She was just like, oh. Anyway, so that was kind of hysterical. But then, of course, that whole day on Friday when that happened, I don't know if this happens with you, but I felt like stuff everywhere. I felt like I was itching and like, ugh. And so luckily I got over that, but it was interesting. Anyway, so that's my gross story. But now I'm giggling at all the comments you guys are making about what your dogs do. I feel better because our dog, it's so funny the difference between dogs, right? So like Izzy, she had her adventure, you know, where she was out in the world, living for a few nights a couple years ago. If you guys remember that story, if you've been watching me for a while, you remember how she ran away from home because of fireworks. Also super excited about the 4th of July coming up. Anyway, so I always think of her as like the jaded one, but actually she's not. She's like the sweet one, and Milo's just kind of dumb, I guess. So anyway, I think we need to work a little bit more on leave it. That command obviously is not good in his repertoire yet. We need to work on that one. So anyway, I saw somebody asked me how many expired items. I didn't catch what you meant at the beginning. When I cleaned out my pantry this weekend, there was a fair amount. Like 2 huge jugs of ranch dressing from like Sam's Club that expired in like 2021. I mean, like, and they're the big ones. And I don't know how they lasted that long. I think they were probably behind something, because my son could probably drink his body weight in ranch if given the opportunity. So I was a little surprised we even had that. And then what was something else I found that was like, whoa. It wasn't that bad, but I had cleaned it out maybe a year and a half ago, like at Christmas a year ago. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Just saying. When I I'm laughing. We had a cat referred to as the slow one. We always say pretty but dumb. Oh, I know what I found, and somebody just reminded me because they said we hoard condiments. So we had, um, you know, the packets of ketchup that come from like fast food places. I'm pretty sure ours were from Cane's because we used to have a Cane's kind of addiction during COVID, and like the beginning of COVID, and they're in like a little plastic thing. So you peel off the top, and then it's a plastic thing that's sort of in the shape of a Heinz ketchup bottle. I think they probably have them at Chick-fil-A too. Anyway, we had a bunch of those, and let's just say they were no longer sporting red ketchup. Whatever was in them was more of a burgundy brown color. Ugh. So I tossed those away as well. And then I had like 8 ends of cereal bags, you know, where it's just like crumbs. Because my son doesn't always throw things away when he's done with them. You know, like empty boxes of things. There was a lot of that. So it freed up a lot of room in the pantry, which was lovely. So anyway, it's always fun finding interesting things, right? Then I had to laugh. We grilled hamburgers for dinner on Sunday, and my daughter asked for mustard, and like we're not. I thought I was the only one who ate mustard really in our house because the boys don't like it. Anyway, she asked for mustard, and I was like, okay. So we pulled it out, and it expired like, I want to say last month or something. It really recently. Anyway, I was like, are you kidding me? That's mustard. It's fine. And she still ate it. So anyway, I thought you guys might find that funny. So if you haven't taken a gander in your pantry or shelves where you have pantry items, I encourage you to do so. You might find some really interesting things. Oh, I had a friendism I was gonna share with all of that. What was it? I can't remember. But anyway, let's see. Today we have some fun stamping projects to do. We're gonna be featuring a couple, a kind of a cool technique, I think, and kind of well, actually a couple of cool techniques now that I'm looking at my projects here. And just a fun, easy card, and then, like I said, a couple cool techniques that I think you're gonna enjoy. Nothing groundbreaking, but fun things that maybe you didn't do it in quite this combination before. Maybe you've never tried it, so it'll be super fun. I also have been working on the first series of videos for Watercolor Happy, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just so excited. In fact, I was watching, last night I was watercoloring and watching the US Olympic trials for swimming, and that was super fun. Carl has a friend who went to his school, who he graduated with, high school with just last month, who is at the Olympic trials. He earned a spot or he qualified to compete. So I cannot wait to see how he does. It's the 200 IM, and I haven't, well, I haven't really looked, but I haven't seen the schedule yet to see whether or not he's, whether he's swimming yet. I don't think he has. I'm just laughing. Did you guys see that? I left a box of tampons on the bathroom floor and the dog shredded them. I can only imagine. My sister's dog used to take them out of her purse. Like, she would go in for only that and pull them out. And she was little, so she didn't really do anything with them, but she'd always pull them out. And she, of course, always did it like at socially awkward times, if you know what I mean, which was always kind of funny. Okay, so, ooh, I'm just like looking out this. Cleaning out your pantry is like playing the Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is true, isn't it? I love that. That's really funny. Okay, so another shameless discussion on watercolor happy, because it just makes me happy. A few questions that I've had recently are, if you've taken my other watercolor classes, like Watercolor Stamp Camp and Watercolor Stamp Camp 2023, is this the same thing? And the answer is resoundingly no. Will we do some of the same things? Yes, but I like to think we'll build on what we learned. There will be just a teeny bit of review, but it's all things that I do constantly in my watercolor practice anyway. And so it's not like it's all repeat material. It's mostly not repeat material. There's a lot of stuff that is different because I work I kind of share as I'm learning. And so I've learned a ton of stuff in the last year. And so I'm excited to share that with you. And then, of course, the other thing is, what if you've never done watercoloring before? Is this going to be like, do you need to do the other ones? And the answer to that is no. If you have no watercolor experience at all whatsoever, that is okay. It won't matter, because we'll guide you through, and it's really, I just think it's going to be so much fun. So whether you love to watercolor or you just want to learn more about watercoloring, it's going to be a really awesome event. And my goal is to kind of turn you all into little watercolor lovers. And what I really love about how I've kind of organized it is that we'll do practice, and then we'll take our practice and put it into projects, which I think is going to be really fun. And I kind of did that before, but I'm really focusing on taking the stuff that we learned and then putting it into card making practice, as well as some framables. And actually, I worked on something this weekend that I want to frame, so I'm so excited about that. And it's something that anybody can make, regardless of skill or talent. So that's one of the things that I love about watercoloring, is whether you're brand new to it or you've been doing it for a long time, you will love it. So anyway, all right. I am going to, well, actually, I am not even going to lie. I made kind of a mess on my desk here and didn't realize what time it was. So I'm sort of panic cleaning, like you are dropping in to my house unexpectedly or with 5 minutes warning. So let me get my little sheets out here, and then we'll get started. So I'm going to flip my camera and show you all the things that are happening, and hope you'll love it. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you about this. So I first off, I want you to know that this was a class that was supposed to happen like in April, but for a variety of different reasons, I transitioned it over to a 6-week course instead of just doing it over like a weekend, which is what I've done in the past. And so I wanted to, well, so that obviously pushed everything back because the platform I'm using is new to me, and it took a great deal of getting set up and understanding how it works and all of that good stuff. So anyway, it is all going to be on this website, but I did, if you're in Watercolor Happy, I posted today, I made a Facebook group because I thought it would just be easier to share everything. So if you are in Watercolor Happy, I did post that. It's a new lesson that's been posted. I will email about it, but I'm going to wait just a hot second before I send the email out because I don't want to email too often, but that's coming. So check that out. If you are in Watercolor Happy, just log into the website and you'll be able to see all of that information. But I will send an email out about it shortly. Okay, so I'm going to flip my camera. I know I said that a minute ago, but here we are. There we go. Let's push that back in, and I think we're good. Okay, so first off, it is so exciting to have you all here. Thank you for joining me. It just makes my heart happy to stamp with you every Monday, and I just appreciate that you're here. Having said that, though, will you give me the thumbs up? That just rocks my world. It makes it so good with the YouTube people. They love it when you like my videos and comment. So thank you for saying hi. And by the way, hi, Kelly, and you are welcome. And so here are just a few announcements. One, and I think somebody asked me, and was it you, Sherry, maybe, that asked if all my furniture is from IKEA? And I would say the vast majority of it is yes. In my office, the vast majority is. I use Calyx shelving and Alex drawers and the tabletops that they have, which are really awesome. And I also, my stamp sets are on, and I don't remember the name of them. They're on like CD shelves. I think that's what they are. Or maybe DVD shelving. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, it's mostly IKEA. That dang IKEA. Okay, so first off, this month we have Stampin' Up! Has 10% off of all of our machines, as well as an extra 10% off of bundles, which are already 10% off. So that is such an awesome deal. You can get those discounts, they're just automatically applied to your cart when you shop. And of course, you should shop from me because I have really awesome perks. We have a really fantastic online class. Oh, I'm so excited about it, featuring the Country Flowers bundle. This will be out next week, and the projects are just so adorable. We've got some fun folds and kind of some fun types of cards in there, so I'm really excited for you to see those projects. You can register there, I believe is a link in the description of my video already for you. Our next Sunshine and Creativity Delivered box is going to feature pop-up cards. So you subscribe in June and the box ships in mid-July. And that is going to be a good one. I'm very excited about this one. This is actually one I've wanted to do for quite a while, so yay. As mentioned, Watercolor Happy gets started on the 28th and is a 6-week course. Videos or lessons are going to drop each Friday for 6-ish weeks. I suspect I'll need an extra week to just get everything in. And the beauty of that is this course will be ongoing, meaning you'll have access to it. I don't want to say forever, but like for the indefinite future. And you will be able to enjoy the content. If I ever take the website down, by the way, I would give you warning so that you could get, you know, the information off of it that you would need, but I don't anticipate that happening in the near future. And by that, I mean years. So just so you know, but it is a website I have to pay for. So I will probably at some point in time, maybe many years down the road, it may go away. But like I said, I'll forewarn you. But what I love about the longer format as well is that you'll have an opportunity to revisit lessons and watch them over and over and see the progression and log into a website where it's all right there for you, which is going to be pretty awesome. Okay. Our all-star video class bundle this month is Take to the Sky, which you can purchase for $15 or you can get for free when you purchase $50 or more in products from my online store. Of course, that's before tax and shipping. And this is happening all month long. And to that end, and actually I do have, this is the new one, ordering benefits from the Creativity Cave. When you spend $35 or more, you will get a cardstock kit for today's projects. If you spend $50 or more, you'll get that PDF I just showed you. And then if you spend $75 or more, you'll get an embellishment to go with your card kit. Please make sure you use the host code BDU6997K when you check out. That's in the description of this video as well. That code can be used for orders under $150. If it's over, forget the code. You'll still get all the goodies, but you'll also get Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. So I think that is everything. So let's get started. I am going to be featuring projects from the, what did I do with it? Here we go. From the Inspiring Snapdragons. And I want to show you what, how I got to this point. Because it's kind of a funny story. I was looking for projects featuring some DSP, and so 72. So I found a card with this DSP, and I just loved it. It's this DSP. It's the one that goes with this, the Full of Life DSP. So I was looking for projects with the Full of Life DSP, and here is this card, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. So I thought this was really fun, and I thought it would be fun to use this stamp set after I saw this card, because I just thought, oh, that's so cute. And then I started playing with it, and let's just say I had some fun. So this, of course, is one of the bundles that is on special. So there are all kinds of fantastic dies that coordinate with this, including this. There's a couple dragonflies. There's some like stems or grass, whatever you want to call them. And then there's the snapdragons. And I just love snapdragons. And of course, I love this set because it has that watercolor texture to it. And so here we go. Let's just have some fun. So I'm going to start with a little scrap paper here. And our first card, which is going to be on a smoky slate card base. And so I'm just going to give that a good crease. And I think snapdragons are such fun flowers because they're, first of all, a little bit different than what we have. You know, we've got so many flowers with like daisies or peonies or you know, kind of roses in all forms. So I like this because it's a different type of flower. Of course, I love the watercolor texture in the stamp set. This is a distinctive type stamp set. I don't know if we mark distinctive anymore. I'm not sure, but it is. And you know that because of the details. So I'm going to give you some tips on using distinctive stamp sets today. I'm going to start by cleaning off my stamps because I don't remember what colors the ink are at this point in the game. So let me just give these a quick cleaning. Now, I did do a little stamp surgery to my stamps. You know, I love when my stamps can be a little bit more, let's just say, versatile. So I'll show you an example. This I cut off of this stamp. Oh no, not that one. Kidding. This one. So I literally cut that bottom leafy part, which by the way, on its own sort of looks like a dragonfly, but that's another story. And so you can use this together. So let me quick do this together. Actually, this is dirty. I'll clean it and then I'll show it to you clear together. So you can see it kind of fits back together like a puzzle, so I can use it like that, or I can pull that piece off and do it separately, which I just think is brilliant. Now, I will be honest with you, this was a little tricky to do that, but look at how awesome that is. I know you can use your markers, but I just think it looks so much better when you use ink. So I did do this on all three. I cut those little stems off on all three of the snapdragons, and I am happy with my decision. Okay, now having said all that, let's make a card together. Now, one thing I love about this card is that you can do it in a lot of different colors. In fact, I might do it in a different set of colors than I originally did, and then I'll show you the two versions so you can kind of compare and contrast, because now that I used this Summer Splash, I'm like, ooh, that's so pretty. I want to use it again. Okay, so I'm going to take some, let's see, some Summer Splash, some Peach Pie, and some Pretty in Pink for this card. I think that'll be fun. And I'm going to start by stamping this. Now, first thing I know, especially because I just did this is a super, or maybe I used Coastal Cabana there a second ago, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to explain. On distinctive stamp sets, such as this one, when your ink pad is really juicy, as this is, you want to take a spoon and work the ink into your pad. What that does is it takes and puts the ink into the center of the pad instead of on the surface of the pad, this pad being fairly juicy, I might add. And then what happens is you get a much better, you get the detail shows up. Now this is typing paper, so you won't see it quite as good, but let me show you in reality. Okay, so there's one. I'm gonna do 2 and maybe 3 over there. So I've got 3 snapdragons. Note, I'm not even getting the stem part in this, so that doesn't really even come into play in this particular project. All right, I'm gonna clean. Usually I, by the way, like to work from lightest to darkest color, but we're gonna just go crazy today. Okay, next up I have Pretty in Pink, which is not the stamp I want to use because I want to use all 3 of these. Okay, so I've got Pretty in Pink happening here and here, and then I'm gonna finish it up with my Peach Pie, and I've already worked the ink into the pad on these, by the way, in case you're like, how is she doing that? So I've just kind of added some color in these, and I love the look of that. But I really want to add a little bit of extra to this. So we've got this cute little speckly stamp. Back in the day, I've called this a dirt stamp. And what I'm actually going to do is take a shade darker of each of these colors and stamp it on top here. So I'm going to take some Petunia Pop to go over the Pretty in Pink. I'm going to take some Pumpkin Pie to go over the Peach Pie. And then for this one, that is a little tricky. Maybe I'll take some, gosh, what I wouldn't do for a little Bermuda Bay, right? All right, I'm going to start with my Petunia Pop, and I'm just going to take and stamp this a couple times over the top, and it just adds a fun little touch there. So there we go, sorry. Ooh. Okay. So we've got that one. Then I'm going to take some Shy Shamrock, because that's just maybe a little darker. Yeah, that'll work. And put that over my Summer Splash. And, you know, this, I'm just quickly dabbing this on. I'm not, you know, working real carefully. And then I've got just a little bit of Pumpkin Pie to go on top of the Peach Pie. All right, so I think that looks fantastic. And then what I'm going to do is take and adhere this. Well, actually, I need one more thing. I'm going to add my little dragonfly on here. Kind of like that, in some smoky slate to coordinate with my smoky slate cardstock. All right, so that looks lovely. Then I'm going to adhere this to my card, so I'll flip this over and add a little adhesive, and I'm pretty sure my panel's just a teensy bit longer than my card currently is, but that's no big deal. We'll trim it to fit. Gonna flip this over and trim that excess off, because I'm going to tie some ribbon around here, so I don't want it to hang off. Okay, so there's that. Then I have a little scrap of some smoky slate cardstock. This is a 3/4 inch strip. I'm going to ink that up with my smoky slate ink. And my sentiment that comes in this set says, "Inspired by you." Oh, that's so nice. And I'm going to attach that to my card. Now, you could for sure just stamp it right on the card, but I always think it looks good when you put an extra layer. You know, it makes it fancier, like you're better than Hallmark, because you are. Just saying. Okay, we'll trim the excess off of that. Okay, and then that looks fantastic. Then I've got a little bit of my peach pie ribbon, which I'm going to add to this. And we'll tie this kind of over here and put it on our card so it's not covering up our words. Like that, and I'll scooch that up just a touch and trim those ends. Let's get the good scissors out. Like so. All right. So that looks just lovely. Then I wanted to show you my alternative. So on this one I used Daffodil Delight, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink. So I just switched up one color, but you can see that's a really nice color combo. And just by the way of my stamping, my dragonfly fit better over here. I guess I could have done it on this one too, because I have a little smudge of ink there. That would have covered it up nicely. Okay, but I also want to do a little stamping on the inside of my card. So I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to just take and quick stamp these. Of course, this would have been much better done at the same time, but you know how it is. Okay. So we'll just do, and here's where I think I'm going to take and stamp my whole Snapdragon, because I can. There's my granny apple. We'll throw the stem in there, and then I'll repeat this with my other colors. I guess I changed up which stamp I did, so let's just quick clean and switch these. So I've got my pumpkin pie, and finally I need, oh, summer, there it is, summer splash. All right, and that's going to be this one, which we'll put right there. And so this takes up a little bit of space in the card, but it's okay because now there's less for you to have to worry about what to write in. Less space. See what I did there? Okay. And then you can add the little speckles to this if you want. Okay. And I'm going to throw a dragonfly in here, because why wouldn't I, right? Let's even try the other dragonfly. Like that. Okay, I want to add the speckles because I just think it looks really great. So let's do that quick. I think I've got the speckles. So easy to add. And the chamois cleaning makes it so quick, which I love. And then petunia pop. There we go. Oh, adorable. So we'll add that to the inside. Now, if you didn't want as much of this, you know, you could just do a partial stamping and then add it if you wanted more white space. But I also think you can write right over all this too if you want. It's just a pretty background. You could also stamp it off too to make it a little lighter in color. That would be nice as well. All right, so I'm going to throw that in there. And then, of course, we need to embellish this. So the first thing that I want to do is smack some clear Wink Stella on here, because that's always a good idea, in my personal, humble opinion. So I'm just going to smack my Stella on top of there, and that gives me some shimmer. Not a lot. I think that Stella might be drying up. Let's try this one. Oh, whoa. Yep, this one, she's good. Kind of got more than I bargained for, but that'll dry and look fine. And then last but not least, I'm going to take some sequins, because I think sequins are always a good idea. And oops. These are the adhesive backed shiny sequins. They're the ones that coordinate with the Zinnia suite. And I'm just going to add a couple of those to my card. And I can use these pink ones like that. And oh, super fun. Love it. Easy peasy. Okay, so that was our easy card. I was like having kind of a mixture of cards and whatnot. Okay, our next card is actually, it's a really good one. This is kind of a fun technique. I'm going to start with a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece, oops, of white cardstock here, and we're going to do a little bit of ink blending on this. I've got, this is one of the Countryside Corners die cuts, and it's in a weird color. It's in Wild Wheat, which is left over from a project I did a while back. So it's not because I don't like this color, because you know I do. But I am just going to use this as a stencil, basically. So you can see I put a little bit of my seal on here to stick it down in the center of this panel of basic white cardstock. And then what we're going to do is use some blending brushes, and we're going to ink blend on this card. So I'm going to start, or I guess I'm going to use a variety of colors here. Let me get them out by putting away. Oh, how did I mess this up? Oh, pumpkin pie is a bright. I just really struggle with that sometimes. It doesn't seem like it should be. I'm going to use some Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia, Petunia Pop, and Berry Burst. So I've got kind of some pinky purple colors, which I think are really fun. And you could do this with any color combination that you wanted, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to start with my Bubble Bath ink and my blending brush. So I'm just going to pick up some color, and I'm going to brush outward from my die cut here. So just brushing out, and it's okay if it streaks. In fact, I kind of want that look. All right, so my Bubble Bath ink pad is getting a little dry, I'm not gonna lie. She's been well loved, but I don't want to re-ink it until I'm done with this project, because it'll be really wet. If this will get weird streaks in it if I don't, or if I do re-ink it right now. Okay, so you can see I just kind of have, I'm kind of getting a starbursty look. All right, then I'm going to move to my next darkest color, which in this case is Fresh Freesia, and I think I used this blending brush for that, but let's double check. I want to make sure that this isn't going to come out with some crazy weird color. Okay, we're good, because this has got some questionable color in it, so you never know. Okay, so I'm just going to brush out, and again, streaks are fine. This is a darker color, so we're definitely going to see more of it. We want to make sure we see some of the lightest color as well as each color that we add. So I can still see my Bubble Bath in there. That's good. Kind of with each color I get darker, I want to do a little bit less. I'm going to switch to this one. so that, again, I still can see all the colors. So this is Petunia Pop. So I'm kind of going in between here, making sure I can still see those colors, those original colors, and that looks pretty good. And then Berry Burst is our final color. This, of course, is the darkest. So we want to be a little careful with it because you can certainly get carried away. And sometimes on those really dark colors, I got rid of a little bit of the ink firsthand. Now you can always come back in and add more colors, but I find that it's can be a little tricky to get the lighter colors to show after you've put the darker colors on. Okay, so are you ready for the big reveal? Let's pull this off and ha-ha! So cool, right? Okay, now what I want to do is take my sentiment and stamp it on here. Now I am going to use this, and I think I've talked about this before. This is a craft stamp pad, which comes as an uninked pad, so an empty pad with a white reinker. However, I took a tuxedo black memento reinker to ink this pad, and then I get a nice squishy black ink pad that's the same kind of ink pad as our regular ink pads, but I use my black memento. I find it inks up oh so lovely when I do this. So I'm just going to stamp my sentiment. I want to kind of have the bottom of the sentiment be in the corner. Okay, so wishing you strength. And then what I'm going to do is take and stamp a couple of my dragonflies. So I've got, this is a panel of white that's going to go on the inside of my card. So I'm going to stamp those in there. I'm going to do one in Petunia Pop and one in Berry Burst, just at the bottom of this little piece, like that. You could do any of the colors that we just did, by the way. Now I'm going to die cut those out, but because I'm just so brilliant, I take my Martha Stewart moment here, and I did this ahead of time. So I've got a Berry Burst and a Petunia Pop, and we're going to add those to the front of our card, which I am going to add to a layer of black. So this is 3 3/4 by 5, and then my black is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it's just that skinny little border. Okay. There we go. So I've got that on there. And then I'm going to attach that to my card base, which is going to be Bubble Bath. You could, again, use any of the colors we've used on our project so far. Oh, my bone folder is just right there, of course. That's okay. I have another bone folder ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to pop this up onto my card. I'm feeling a little withdrawals because our first card did not have a single thing popped up on it, and that is just not really right in my book. Okay. All right. So I'll stick that down like so on there. Then we're going to set this aside for the time being. We're going to work on this piece. So this was the inside of our card. So I've got a strip of Berry Burst, which is, I think it was 1 1/4 inches wide by 4 inches. It's a little longer, so we'll just trim it off, but that's no big deal. And I'm going to take and stamp my dragonflies all over this, kind of randomly. So they're going in all different directions. To fill this up, and that's plenty. Okay, so we're going to put it on like that. And I'm going to just run some adhesive down the center of this so that I can tuck a little piece of paper in, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in just one sec. So I'm going to cover up those dragonflies that I stamped on here because, you know, these would be die cut normally, but I had them die cut already, so we didn't have to wait for me to do that. I'm going to trim off the excess here since that strip was longer than I needed it to be. And then I'm going to take, and I've just got a little scrap of bubble bath, and I'm just going to tear this edge. Okay. And then this is going to sneak behind those dragonflies. And how fun is that? So we'll just kind of tuck that right in like that. Okay. And then press it down so it stays in place. So any dragonflies will be completely covered up by these 2 layers of cardstock, and that makes the inside of our card all nice and pretty, which of course I love. Okay, now we are going to put that on the inside of our card where you can write a wonderfully uplifting message to somebody. Okay, now to finish this off, let's take those 2 dragonflies and stick them down with some glue dots. I love using the glue dots because they're going to give me kind of a, let's just call it a faux pop-up. So it'll pop this up because the glue dot takes a little bit of space. I'm going to bend the wings because that's just how I roll. And so I'll put one there, and the other one right here, kind of overlapping. Well, I guess not really, but it could if I needed it to. And that looks so lovely. Then let's take, and I think I'm going to use the pink ones again, since this is kind of a pink card. Maybe I was supposed to use the orange ones on our last card, but oh well. Does not matter. So I think I'm just going to put a few of these in a few different spots along here to decorate. And super fun. So there is our second card. Oh, I just love this. Again, you could do this with so many different colors. You could do yellows and oranges, pinks. These are kind of pinky purples. You could do corals. You could do aqua shades. You could do shades of green, shades of dark blue, you know, whatever you want. And you would have a lovely card. So I just thought that was a fun technique. Now, of course, if you get a card kit, will include the die cut piece so you can do that whole stencil business and have fun with that ink blending. Okay, now we're going to do one more card, and this one's my favorite. And this one is going to showcase another ink blending technique as well as a cool die cutting technique. So I'm going to take, this is from our deckled edge dies, and I'm just going to take a scrap of basic white and I'm going to run this through my machine, and I'll put it on my plate, or I'll put the plate on like this. Okay, so I'm not going to cut all the way through. Since the plate is going to end right here, it won't cut all the way through, and then we're going to make it longer than it currently is. So let me start running this through. Okay, so when I take this off, you can see only part of it has die cut. And then I want this to be about 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inches long. And I know that because I've got a 3-inch panel of cardstock, and I want this to be just a little bit longer than this piece. So I'm just going to set it on here. And then I'm going to kind of wiggle this die until the edges kind of fall into place here, as they will. I can feel that they're in that little groove. And then what I'm going to do is run this through my machine again. And I'm going to put the plate so that it does not cut through the end. So I'll put the plate in like that. And when I do that, I get this long piece. Okay, so you can see the die is originally this big, but I just made it about an inch longer to fit my card needs. So that's just a kind of a fun technique. You can do this with most dies. As you can see, there's no, you don't, because of the uneven edge of this die, you can't see where it actually met up with the edges. So it works really well on this particular die. If it's a more symmetrical die, you just want to make sure you have it lined up with the edge of the die or the design, if it's a scallop or, you know, whatever it is. So it's kind of a fun little technique. Okay, so this is going to be used for our sentiment on this card. And I'm going to start with a card base that is cut the long way, which is 4.5 inches by 11. And then the best, the best way to get a good fold on this type of card is to give it a score at 5.5 inches with your trimmer's scoring blade. If you don't, you might get kind of a crinkly, uneven fold line, and that bugs me. So there you go. Okay, so that's going to be our card base, and this is kind of the design of our card so far. I embossed this panel. It's 3 by 4.5 inches. I embossed this with the Timber 3D embossing folder to start with, but I'm going to set all this aside because we need a little, we're going to do a fun little technique with some ink blending. So this is like fake watercolor, for lack of a better name for it. And what we're going to do is color 3 pieces of white cardstock with 3 coordinating colors. And let me show you what I mean. So I've taken and die cut the 3 Snapdragon dies out of 3 colors. So I've got Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, and Peach Pie, which that's funny because that's the color I ended up, well, it's close to the color I ended up doing on my first card, which was actually not my intention, but sometimes good colors just stick in your head. Okay, so what I want to do with this is take that coordinating color for each of these of ink and ink blend it onto my cardstock. So I'm going to start with Summer Splash, I think. Yes. Oh, maybe I'm not going to start with Summer Splash. I thought I was going to. What happened to my Summer Splash ink pad? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. That's why. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up with my blending brush. And it can be totally uneven, does not matter at all whatsoever. We just want to put some ink on here. So this is easy peasy. You could even drag the ink pad over the top of this if you wanted, but I want it to be uneven. I think that will add to the look of this. So that's what I'm going to do. I also want a paper towel or a tissue. I happen to have a roll of, I almost said a roll of Kleenex, a roll of toilet paper. And what I'm going to do is take my water painter, and I'm going to, this one's empty, but I have some water sitting on my desk here. I'm going to kind of spritz water. I'm just tapping this on to this cardstock. And then I'm going to pick it up with my tissue so that it looks all watercolory. Okay, so this is regular cardstock, not watercolor paper, and it's ink blended with just some clean old water to spritz so it looks water droppy. Okay, so that one's done. I'm going to repeat this with my other 2 colors. So I've got Petunia Pop. Now you can kind of make it fun by putting a couple of colors in here. So let's take some Bubble Bath and putting a little Bubble Bath. Now you might not see that Bubble Bath on here because Like I said, I need to re-ink my ink pad because I haven't re-inked Bubble Bath in some time. But then we'll continue with our Petunia Pop. And the fact that there's a couple colors on here is going to be kind of fun. In just a second, I'll show you when we add that water. Okay, so same thing. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. You can also take a water spritzer and spritz water on here if you want. Okay, don't get too carried away, but again, you just want the drips, and then you're going to take your tissue and pick up the water because that makes the drips a little bit more prominent. Sorry, I'm dripping from above. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to do the last one, which again is my pumpkin pie. Peach pie, sorry. I guess I could throw some pumpkin pie in there if I wanted. Okay, so just uneven ink on here, lighter and darker areas. I don't really have a pumpkin pie blending, but I was going to say, ooh, if I had a pumpkin pie, I could just throw some pumpkin pie ink on here, but I don't really have one. Okay, we'll spritz that and drip. I like the spritzer or the water painter because it gives you more uneven blotches. And blotches are the official term for what this is. And there you go. Okay, so now I've done that 3 times. I want to let these dry so that they're completely dry. And then I'm going to die cut them with the coordinating solid die, which, oh, look, I've done that ahead of time. Oh, how glorious. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is attach the die cut on top of the ink blending. And the cardstock is generally a little darker. And then those splotches kind of show through, and it just makes for a fun little combo. So let's, first off, I'm just going to cover up my ink pads because I think we can all agree bad things will happen if I don't. And then that will also clean up my desk quite a bit. Now this sheet is getting messy, so let's get rid of this. And oh, look, it's already clean. Okay. So now let's adhere those. I'm going to use my trusty silicone craft sheet and some liquid glue here. And I think that is about out anyway. There we go. So just gonna even out this glue, and then we'll line these up. You could even, if you wanted, but I'm not going to here, but you could you could, you know, die cut this with some foam adhesive. Am I doing the right one? Yeah, okay. Foam adhesive sheets to make it pop up a little bit, but I did not do that. Okay, and then we'll do this one. And by the way, what's kind of fun about this is they don't line up exactly. I was going to die cut these detail ones out of white too and put the white over the top just to see what that looked like. So that's another option that you could do with this little project here, or black for that matter. And then have that color shine through either the black or the white die cut, detail die cut, which would be kind of fun. Okay, so there they are, all stuck together all nice. And let's come back to our card layout. So I'm going to start by stamping my sentiment, which is going to be "So Sorry." And I'm going to stamp that again with my uninked white craft pad that I've inked up with Memento Reinker. And then we'll just stamp "So Sorry" in the middle. Oh, I just love the look of that. And then I'm going to adhere this panel to my card directly. Kind of right here in the middle. And then we'll pop this up. I'm not going to adhere it to my card yet, but I'm just going to have it kind of sitting here so that we can arrange our snapdragons. So I'm going to put that first one in the middle, like that, and then add each one to the two sides. And maybe this one's going to go over here because it kind of curves off to the left. And this one's going to go over here. And actually, I think I want the center one on top, but luckily my seal allows me to rearrange as needed. I kind of love that about seal. Maybe we'll put that one over the top like that. Okay, so that looks just lovely. And then I can kind of have that sticking right over the top. But first, I want to take and add some ribbon to this. So I'm going to take my black and vanilla large check ribbon, some of my fave, and I'm going to tie a bow off to the one side here. So I'll get enough for that action. And then we'll put our sentiment over the top. Okay. And I love this ribbon. I don't know if you guys knew that. Because what we have here is black and white with a pop of color. Always a good idea. Always a good idea. And then we'll pop this up over the top. Like so. We'll even put it on straight just for you guys because I do love you all so much. And sometimes this happens where if you're going right over a ribbon, your die cut kind of sits crooked because the dimensionals are actually stuck to the ribbon, not the cardstock. So I'm going to stick this dimensional strip down here, and then that kind of straightens out my cardstock. You can put one at the top too if you want, but how fun is that? Now we'll add some more of our little shiny adhesive backed sequins. And you can put the sequins right on here. You can stick them someplace else if you want. It's kind of fun. I'm trying to think. I'm going to put a green one over here on this one. And look at how cute that is. So of course we're going to put something on the inside. Oh, Connie, you're just so sweet. Thank you. I'm so glad you like them. I thought they were fun, happy colors, which, you know, that's kind of my fave. All right, so then on the inside here, I'm thinking, ooh, we could do something kind of fun. And this was not actually what I originally intended. So give me 1 second. I'm going to take and die cut my largest little detail image, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I die cut this, and then what if I use this as like a little stencil on here? And I'm going to start with my lighter color. I'm probably only going to use 2 of the colors just because the colors will blend on here in a bad way. Just got to find my ink pad. Okay. So let's just ink blend a little bit on this side in my peach pie, and then a little bit of petunia pop on the other side. I'm actually going to get rid of maybe a little bit of this ink. I threw my paper away. Okay, I'm going to try and keep it lined up exactly where it was. Now this is going to go on the other side. And this is just to make the inside coordinate a little bit. Oh, perfect. So that looks lovely. And then now we could put the Wishing You Strength on here because that would go nicely with this. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. And we'll just stamp that right over the top. Oh, look at how awesome that is. So that literally was just taking a scrap and doing half with one color and half with the other. These colors are sort of similar. I wouldn't ever do the peach pie with the summer splash because orange and aqua equals ugly in the middle. Whereas here it's just kind of a nice little shade because they're similar enough colors that they'll blend pretty well together. So that's how I made that little snap decision. Otherwise you could just do one color if you're not, sure about how they'll look. But I thought that was kind of a fun little addition to the inside of this card. So there you have it, friends. 3 fantastic projects, if I can just say. 1 messy desk. And so many things that can be done with this little set. So let me show you my cards once again with this fun set. And look at that die cut. So you can just save this and use this as a stencil. Now, I would not go over this with like yellow ink because it'll pick up the color that's already in there, but you could do similar inks or darker colors and it would be good. So there you have it. Now, don't forget to give me the thumbs up. That just really helps so much when you guys do that, whether you're watching it live or later on in the replay. And if you would like a card kit featuring these projects and all the pre-cut cardstock pieces, you can purchase $35 or more in my online store before tax and shipping, and I'll send this to you. If your order is $50, you'll also get the All-Star PDF, and if your order is $75 or more, you'll get the embellishment to go with it. Don't forget, the Inspiring Snapdragons bundle is on the sale for an extra 10% off. So you can get this one, or you can substitute a different set if you'd prefer and make these fantastic cards. The choice is up to you. But I hope you loved my projects today. Thank you so much for stamping with me. Don't forget, register for Watercolor Happy. Oh, you'll be so happy you did. Class starts in a week from Thursday, so about 10 days from now. And also the Country Flowers class is coming out shortly, so I'm excited for that. If you have questions about anything, just check the links out in the description of this video. Thanks again for being here. By the way, you have 2 weeks to get this kit, so you can order anything between now and the end of the month. The 30th is the cutoff. So just be aware you've got 2 fabulous weeks for that. All right, friends, we will see you soon. Have a great day.